Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk specifically about my thoughts on Yang 2024. We are in the shadow of Yang. We are in an incredibly dark and sad and continuingly frustrating descent into a November 2nd, 2020 that will be one of the saddest, most frustrating, most soul-sucking events in American politics. Okay, it looks like we're going to be choosing between Biden Trump or Sanders Trump, and that is, a candidate who's saying, hey, let's go back to 2008. That's Donald Trump saying, hey, let's go back to 1950, versus a candidate who's saying, hey, let's go back to 2008 at the start of Obama's. I'll bring back Obama's days. And and Bernie Sanders saying, hey, let's go back to 1991 when the Soviet Union was still a thing and socialism hadn't fallen, it hadn't had its greatest fall from greatness. So it's just like, it's choices of, hey, what flavor of history do you want for America? Because the future ain't on the ballot. It's going to be really bad, right? So we need to talk about Andrew Yang and what are the probabilities of Andrew Yang for 2024, because Andrew Yang 2020 ain't going to happen, right? Well, first of all, I'm just going to give some warnings here, right? I understand that Yang supporters are frustrated and frightened and sad. I get that. So I'm going to give an emotional trigger warning on this, right? None of you going to like it. Almost nobody who supports Yang is going to like what I have to say about Yang 2024. So if you want to just go about your day and have a happier day, just thumb off of this video. I'll give you something good to watch. Go watch Grace Randolph's movie reviews. She's the best movie reviewer in the world. Everything on her channel is fantastic and 100 times better than anything you'll find on my channel. She's best on YouTube. She's fantastic. There's lots of great things to watch on YouTube, and I hate to send you away from mine, but this is not going to be that fun. But we're going to get. But the reason why I'm saying it is I'm honest and I care about Andrew Yang, and I want to discuss this, right? So, and I'll also, as always, whenever I'm discussing anything on my channel, I'm always ready for correction. I'm always here ready to be corrected in the comments, to learn something, to have my thoughts reshaped. So that's another reason this is an open dialogue. I'm always willing to hear what others have to say. All right. The other thing that I want to talk about before I get into this is I position my channel on rationality. Right? I come at politics commentary from a position of rationality, and I have to be honest when it comes to Andrew Yang. I don't come at Andrew Yang from a position of political commentary from a position of rationality. I really come from a position of passion, right? I was so still am. I am passionate about Andrew Yang as a candidate, right? And especially when he was in the race, particularly. And the reason why was I truly believed he had two attributes that were at such high levels that he was an unprecedented leader in American history. I think he was the best leader in 10 generations in America. And so basically, he had incredible intelligence and he had incredible nobility. And frankly, there are people with incredible intelligence. That's not that rare. There's quite a few of them. He is world-class smart, but that's not truly unique, right? What was truly unique about Andrew Yang was world-class intelligence paired with world-class nobility. That was incredibly unique. I trusted him. And it made me passionate about what he stood for. And he stood for freedom dividend. And I was 100% down with freedom dividend. And Andrew Yang's deployment of UBI, I think not only would have fixed America, but would have fixed the world. And that's why I was so passionate about it. Is I really thought we were heading into an American Camelot, like just birds singing in the trees, like a magical time in our country that was so powerful that it would fix like 50 other countries when they saw how powerful freedom dividend was. But we have a democracy, and we have freedom and liberty, And part of freedom and liberty is the freedom to make incredibly foolish, incredibly self-damaging choices. And that's exactly what America did. They let the greatest leader in 10 generations slip through their fingers to choose a moderate who was second banana to one of our greatest presidents, who doesn't even want the job. Trust and believe. Biden doesn't. I don't have to tell you Biden doesn't want the job. He's already told you. The only reason he's here is not to become president, but to stop Donald Trump from being president. And guess what? That's not a good reason. It is not a good reason. The person who's running should want the job. Okay? So so this is what I'm saying today is coming from a place of passion, a place of emotion, and I have to be honest about that. So all right. So let's go forward. So I believe that Yang 2024 has 99% chance of failing, and that there's only 1% chance that there will be even a Yang 2024 campaign, let alone a win. Okay? Here's why. There's 4 reasons. I'm going to use a mnemonic. I'm thinking of a sleeping crocodile holding a black chess piece in one hand and a clock in the other. Let's tick them off. All right, black chess piece. Opponents. Okay? Opponents. Yang in 2024 will face new opponents, incredibly difficult opponents. Yang, incredibly difficult opponents. For one, it's going to be AOC. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I feel like she's an incredible opponent. She is a very, very skilled politician. She's super, super young, and that is an absolute asset in politics, in my opinion. Okay, she has very strong presence, and she has incredible communication skills. What do I mean by that? Well, she's the only politician I've ever seen who has a flow like a rapper. Like, it's crazy. She has a rhythm. And when she gets angry, she sounds cooler and better and smarter, right? Now, if you think it's unfair to say that there are angry rappers, I'm just going to say Public Enemy, DMX, Eminem. All 3 of them are exactly what I just said. They sound cooler, smarter, and better when they get angrier. And they just gotta click in a flow. And AOC is the first, politician to bring a rap flow to politics. She's brilliant, and I think, I think she will throw a political left hook at Yang. And I love Yang, but I'm not sure he's got a parry for that, right? And one of the reasons why is sequencing, okay? Because I think Yang could have absolutely beat AOC now, right? But at this point, going into 2024, here's the problem. Yang goes into 2024 as a surrenderer, a quitter, a loser, right? Now, guess what? Actually, I shouldn't say that loser part bad. Loser, right? I have no problems with him being a loser, okay? Andrew Yang, you know what? He didn't even lose. He didn't even lose. That's the problem. That is the problem. And again, this is that passion part. I am upset with Andrew Yang. I am frustrated with Andrew Yang, right? I love everything he stood for, and I don't think that a minute supporting him was wasted. Nothing I did to support him was wasted. But I'm incredibly frustrated with him because he surrendered, he quit. It is not in my vocabulary. It is not in my DNA, and it frustrates me to see a leader who I followed put down their gloves, you know what I mean, and just quit and surrender. I can't, those words, I am allergic to them. They make me itch, and I cannot. It frustrates me that he quit, right? And it really frustrates me that he quit, because I feel like I was projecting what I was projecting absolutely came true. I said if he stayed in and he just persisted, the future would unfold an opportunity. And guess what? It did, right? Right now, Donald Trump's real opponents aren't Biden or Sanders. It is a global health crisis that is shaking the stock market to the foundations. That's what really is the real threat to Donald Trump right now, and how he handles that. Right now, I understand 100% that what's happening with that global health crisis is very personal for a lot of people. I'm clearly talking about it from a political perspective, right? And my sympathies and my condolences come to everyone who's been impacted by it personally, right? I'm talking about it at the macro level from a political perspective. I'm not trying to be insensitive in any way. But it is absolutely a political element. That global health crisis is a political element, right? That's one facet of it. It also has many personal elements. Okay, so he would be going into 2024 as a loser, right? And I know what you're saying. A lot of people are like, oh, there's been lots of people who have lost and then, come back, right? Trump did it himself. But the reality is, first of all, don't use Trump for anything. Trump is a black swan. I'm telling you, Trump has rewritten like 75% of the rules of history. I'm telling you, there's no one has ever been in American history like him. Trump is truly unique, right? So he doesn't stand as a template for anyone or anything, right? With the things that are happening under Trump, like three dudes in American history have been impeached. 3, right? And he's one of them, right? And he shed an impeachment like water off a duck's back, right? Like, there's a great line in The Wire where one of the characters says, "You come at the king, you best not miss," right? It was Omar, I think. And Nancy Pelosi came at the king and she missed, right? And she's going to hand him 15 to 20 points in the election, right? And so, oh boy. All right. So Andrew Yang would be coming in as a quitter, as a surrenderer. That's going to hurt in 2024, right? In addition to, whereas, AOC is going to arrive fresh-faced, right? And she's ready for it. I'm telling you, she's going to be ready for it. And by the way, if you think AOC is too young to run, I've checked this 15 times, and I know people are going to jump in the comments below and tell me I'm wrong. I'm not. I've checked this enough. AOC is going to be old enough, ready enough, and guarantee she will be in it in 2024, right? But even beyond that, right? Yang emerged for 2020, okay? He was a dark horse. He came out of nowhere. He strode out from the golden fields, right? Wearing shining armor and holding a sword called Freedom Dividend, right? And he was incredible. And guess what? There's going to be others that emerge too. Others. And so that's just it. There are opponents coming, right? And they're going to be major. All right, so you have opponents, okay? In addition, you have transformation. Oh my gosh, okay? The greatest thing about Andrew Yang was he was coming out of 3 things, okay? He was coming out of the benevolence world. He had run a charity. He is coming out of, corporate world. And he was coming out of education. He has 2 Ivy Leagues. You know where he's coming out of now? Punditry. And there's a really good chance he's going to be coming out of politics. He said at every rally, "I'm not a politician." There's a very low chance that he's going to be able to say that in 2024. And even beyond that, even if he isn't, he's a political commentator. And I'm a political commentator, right? But that badge is not a badge of honor, not for anybody, right? It means he is already growing scales. He's already starting to get small fangs and a long tail. Crocodile, right? Swamp. Donald Trump said he was going to drain the swamp, right, where crocodiles live. Politicians got scales, they got fangs, they got claws, they got long tails, they got, green skin, right? They are crocodiles. They live in the swamp, right? They're quick, they're strong, right? But the reality is that we're looking at a high probability that the next 4 years is going to be a transformation for Andrew Yang, right? And one of the greatest things about him was that he was a person of the people, is going to be gone, right? Now, there's a slim possibility. There's no possibility. He's already done it. He's already started talking to CNN talking heads, right? He's already dipped into the pundit world, into the political commentator world, right? And if it seems like I'm self-insulting, I am, right? Like, yes, like political commentary. There's at my church, there's a lady who like heads up literally, a place where people come and get food. I don't help with that every week. I do political commentary instead, right? She's a better person than me, right? Andrew Yang's the same thing. When you're talking to talking heads on CNN, you are starting to get the long tail. You are getting the green skin. I love Andrew Yang, right? And I understand why he's going down this road. But facts are facts. One of the reasons why I loved him was he was truthful, right? So we can't pretend that, that him saying I'm not a politician and now him becoming the thing that he was fighting against, that's not going to help us in 2024, okay? All right, time is against him, okay? There's a lot of things that can take him out of the race. So one, his passions can change. Right now, he's passionate about being president. Over the next 4 years, he's got 2 sons that are growing. He's got a wife he loves, right? What if their passions take him in a different direction? What if his wife wants to do something and he says, I'm going to back you, Evelyn. Let's do that, right? Takes him out. What if one of his sons needs something, wants to become an Olympic champion at something, right? And you can't do both, right? That could take him out, right? What if he is called back to any of the 3 spheres he already mastered? What if he's called back by, some big charity or some big benevolence organization, or some corporation makes him CEO, or some university makes him a dean, right? He may not, he may get in there. He might meet people that love him and who he loves, and he's reforging a new Ivy League school. He's so amazing. What if he's put in charge of making sure that the theological, philosophical, secular concerns that the technology world is doing a horrible job of managing for driverless cars? What if he's put in charge of that, right? All those kind of things could make it impossible for him to return to the campaign race. There are so many things that can take him off the board, and there are a lot. There are a lot, right? No matter how determined he is, right? Because he's still a human being, right? And if anybody in his family says, "Hey, I need you for X," it's done, man. He's not, he's not stone-hearted. He's not going to say no to Evelyn or any of his sons, right? Come on. There's a million things that could take him off the board, right? And that's time. The last one is dormancy, okay? Here's the thing. Yang supporters, right? They have to choose now. Hey, do I do what I've been doing and continue to support Andrew Yang when he doesn't even know where he's going and when there's nothing to do for 3.5 years, right? And trust, and I know what you're saying. Well, we could support UBI. UBI is it's at this point it's a losing platform. It's a losing platform. It lost. Americans rejected it, right? And frankly, I never thought UBI was the greatest thing about Andrew Yang. He is bigger than the platform. The platform ain't bigger than him. Okay? So, but here's the thing. Andrew Yang supporters all of them are incredibly creative. They're at the macro level, there's a few who aren't. A couple, 3. Basically, the vast majority of Andrew Yang supporters are incredibly intelligent, incredibly creative. They have drive and vision. They can get things done, right? Now, we did fail at one thing, right? But overall, we're incredibly valuable. And putting support behind a candidate who's got nothing to do for 3.5 years is not a good idea. Disengaged people are so, engaged people who are engaged in politics are so incredibly rare that it is outrageously irresponsible to continue to support Andrew Yang when he has surrendered, right? There's no good use for it. People who are good at at knocking on doors and being advocates and bringing people into seeing a non-intuitive angle on something, and are creative and passionate, and we're just too valuable to the American system to sit and support a surrendered, dormant front. Don't torpor yourself. Don't bury yourself in the ground like a vampire and come out 3 years from now. America needs engaged people. And frankly, I love Andrew Yang. He's amazing, right? But it doesn't make any sense to pour your energy into a 1% possibility, right? Get a new passion, right? And if he comes back in 2023, right, I will definitely check him out. I'll see what his vision is then. I'll be ready to hear him. I'll always be ready to hear him, right? But I will be darned if I'm going to sit and use my creativity and my intelligence to support a torpor genius, right? And you shouldn't either. All that's my opinion. I'm ready to hear what you have to say. Let me know it. Hit me in the hit me in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing. Have a wonderful millennium.